But people never have good reasons why we don't eat penguins. People never have good reasons.
All right, kids, we right back to Cold Harbor, right back to the ashiness, right back to the snow on the roads. So we're going to split this episode up into kind of 3 different sections. This first part, I'm going to build something that I've been kind of wanting to build for a while. I just really didn't know where I was going to do it at. I picked a spot right here across the street from our custom taxi stand, and it's also across the street from our little brewery. I'm going to make kind of a disused water treatment plant, and I'm going to let y'all decide if it's still functioning or not. I mean, I know I'm still gonna have, it's gonna look like it's functioning, but it's got so much graffiti and stuff on it. I feel like there's no way nobody can really be maintaining this. So maybe the pipes themselves still flow, but the functionality of filtering water or cleaning water, whatever, that's long gone. Them people been fired and quit. They probably working up there at the Delayed Coca or over there at that thing up on that hill, man, that Shakira Payton Industries building that we ain't really named yet. We don't know what they make up in there. They probably make screws or something like that. I don't know. It's a big building. They got to make something industrial like that. So you can see me going in on the front part of the building, props, barrels. Right here on the side, I'm going to make like a little, and I want to bear in mind for anybody that's like worked at one of these places or seen one of these places in real life, I'm just winging this, man. I'm just freestyling. I'm putting like a little platform over here. You know, maybe they come up here and check some pH balances or, you know, whatever water folks do. We're going to hit the outside of this with a lot of pipes. I'm even going to use some of these little platforms to kind of make some, you know, fake entrances. These aren't really a part of the building. They don't function at all. This building is actually just deco. It's not an industrial asset. It's not a service asset or any of that, man. It's just for deco. And, you know, again, these are some of the things that I'll be wanting to do sometime. Just make something that it might not have real world functionality, but man, does it look fire. Look at that water leaking out of them little things on the side. Y'all can see I put that piece of canal down to kind of just give it more of a reservoir feel. And in the dead middle of that, we're going to build like this little platform area that's going to have a vanilla asset. We're going to put some PO on that to kind of, I don't want the little walls on it, but we're going to line it with some of these rails first. Every once in a while, a guy has to come out here, or a guy had to, because again, this place ain't used no more. I don't believe anyway. He comes out here, he used to check some meters. You know, he would get some readings. He might take those readings back to the guys on the inside, and maybe they add more fluoride or whatever it is the water treatment people do, man. Shout out to the water treatment people. Well, we need that clean water. We're basically done here. I'm gonna add a couple of lights just so it looks better from a zoomed out view. We got the sun rising, man. We never really see the sun up in Cold Harbor, so I decided to build with the sun up, man. We're right across the avenue from Broken Hill. Y'all remember Broken Hill? It's got the train tunnel running like right underneath it. We're on the other side of that avenue. Also, you'll notice we don't have sound. This is another one of our no sound portions. So I'm gonna lay down some UK houses. We're gonna build a church, and I'm gonna build a custom community college using a university block. I don't want like all of the college functionalities. I just want the people to get some book learnings. Let's play some tunes though.
It's Chill Nation Radio with the world famous DJ Rucko.
Know if you bought what I know, 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 J on the track, nigga. If you know, if you bought what I know, if you get around, it's going down.
Yeah, well I'm a cat, so just a holding nigga on your damn street. Jumping, bumping, every car cop in this damn thing. Throwing the balls, I bet these soldiers screaming and bleeding from their nose. But when we start, that's where we make them niggas see the proof. Ain't no game up in this thing. We be deep up in the party. Call my niggas getting started. And with niggas be the hardest. So if a nigga come and run they mouth just like a hoe, punch the bed up in his throat and stop his ass out to the floor.
Yeah, we nucky and bucky and ready to fight. I let the I'ma throw them things away the specific one. See me, I ain't nothing nice. They climb up, it ain't no stopping. Make me like Saddam Hussein killer and Osama bin Laden. Like I said, he got popping and I am acting a fool. I wish I had a wicked cross up on this crime I grew. Now enough is enough, so I roll and get stuck, so I know. Is a what, so I know. If you fuck, so I know.
If you bought
down a barricade. And then when we be too deep and MOB is too elite. Flawless niggas, flawless, you be dollars getting close to me. Bullets buzzing constantly, rapping in your city street. Broken bones lay alone, scattered across the concrete. Nucking if you bucking, you be ducking if you get too low. In my eyes, you wasn't wise, I take the time, I know you ho.
I come in the club, shaking my dreads, throwing these bows and busting these heads. Bitch, irrelevant to the summer rest is best to back up, I see you will let. I been a diamond, coming in no crime, not leaving a trace, not leaving a line. We ducking and bucking, cause I got a nine. I blow you away, cause you wasting my time. Super ass niggas, I know what to do. I waste your ass, you know my crew. I'm doing you haters, so what should you do? You talking about me, then I'm talking to you. You bucking on us, so we in your flesh. You busting on me, that shit gon' get dead. I'm cold in the ice, and I'm freezing my head. I'm talking so silly, but you got dead.
So if you walk by, but you better I'ma quit. I got some shit up in my trunk that's gonna make your body flip. Hollow dip, busting out the roof soon as I did it dope. Anybody make a pause, move their bodies on the floor. Fucking with no hoes, ain't never been no lines. Ain't never been no pussy niggas scared to go them lines, man. Find my niggas up in this bitch. Great red ruggers I represent. Fucking with them TP niggas, you bout to get your big split. Look, you walk, ride up, 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 you go, you go, you walk, you ride up, if you walk, look, if you walk, look, if you walk, ride.
All right, so we will come back to this little unnamed district in a future episode, but I definitely wanted to get that college laid down. Y'all see I used that college block, not the actual university, because I just wanted to make my own custom swag. So let's zoom up and then let's zoom into this little spot right here next to the coast. I've been on a mission to kind of fill in some of this stuff that I left behind when I moved on. I'm so far ahead of all this stuff, it's ridiculous. Now I want to be honest with y'all, I've been getting burned out. Not of playing the game. I play the game every day. It's the editing and the voiceovers, man. I'll be like, Jesus Christ, yo, I gotta sit and do that for a while today. I don't know, man. So I apologize for the lateness. I don't want nobody to confuse that with, oh, he ain't playing no more, he didn't gave up, something happened to the city. No, sir. Matter of fact, I even think I could have fixed Rivergate if I knew what I know now. But that's neither here nor there. Right now, we're working on this little district right here. It's so close to our coastline, but I didn't want to make it like a major port. So I decided to go with more of a historical port type feel. Like maybe this was the first place you could bring a boat and drop off some stuff in Cold Harbor. Let's lay down, we're laying down some of our road network before we actually get into the assets that we're gonna use. It's broken, it's all over the place, and that's how I like it. Y'all can see us doing some of our custom Cold Harbor drains and pipes and all that type of stuff on our key wall. I'm also using these little, I don't know exactly where these assets are from, but basically the kind of vibe I'm going for with this district is like maybe a disused textile mill on that port side, on this avenue side, the street side. It's just gonna be a few commercial assets. Now I had to use PO on a couple of these pieces to fit them where I wanted to fit them, but I feel like it was worth it because I really got like a super unique asset. It all looks fused together almost. You can see me using this Chicago style porch right here. In the middle of this, I started to regret it. Like, nah, man, let's put a liquor store right here, and then we gotta buck this out a little bit. So I used PO on it just to kind of make the porch fit a little bit better. That Green Mill liquor store is really hitting right there. We also added one of those zigzag records, and we're gonna use Luigi's Pizza, not Fat Domingos or Fat Da Vinci's. Man, I don't like the way that sound, man. I had people weighing in the comments saying it was cool. It sounds super weird, super body shamey and racist at the same time. It was like 4 different kinds of disrespect, man. So we're still laying out these unknown houses. I'm gonna put the asset up in the window right now. Look at it right there on the screen. That's what they are. But I'm using them to kind of make my own old school, we're talking about turn of the century, industrial revolution type textile mill, but this has been repurposed into some fire condos, rent probably high as a dog. I'm also going right here on the corner, we're going to put an actual functioning commercial asset. I like to sneak commercial assets in here and there when I can. It keeps traffic from bunching up in places. Plus, in the real world, all the commercial ain't on one street. I live on a residential street. I live in an apartment building, but I can look out my door and I can see a little clutch of commercial buildings. There's a place called like the Fig in the Leaf, and a place that sells lamps or something like that. They're just little clutches of commercial activity, and I like to kind of keep that going in my city. I'm laying out some of these fancy stone decals all over this area, man. That when you see these in my city, I might have said this before, this denotes that these people are playing with a check. They got some money. I'm also going to use a piece of the West Side Market. This isn't even actually the West Side Market. It's like the annex building, but it's the perfect size for this little spot right here on the coast. And we're going to turn this into kind of like a fresh market type spot. It's going to have some kiosks and stuff like that. We'll detail it in pieces. We're not going to detail it all right now at once, but I am going to lay down some of those wooden planters by Avanya that I love so much, a couple of the stone decals, but we're going to kind of make them into a shape, make this more like a plaza, and you can see I'm hitting it with the kiosks. We're also going to use that Great Eagle Market sign, even though, Giant Eagle, my bad. Y'all seen the words just now. Giant Eagle Market sign. But we know that's not the Giant Eagle, man. And I couldn't fit that giant asset nowhere in my city anyway. Right here up against the key wall, I was in my bag, y'all. I'm not even going to hold y'all, man. I spent mad time on this section because I just be having fun playing the game. I be forgetting I have to edit all this stuff up. So what I'm making right now is kind of a custom stairway entrance, then drop down to where we will eventually put like some dock pier type stuff. And I don't mean industrial dock. I'm talking about like, a people dock, man. You got some little row boats and some Zodiacs and stuff like that. I'm working with the stoops right now and kind of laying that out. Y'all can see I went on a workshop and I got one of these ginormous dock assets. We're going to still hit it with a little bit of PO because I want it to stretch out, and y'all can see how it kind of fits. Again, bear in mind, when this was functioning, there wasn't no big giant ships. They were little ships. I've been thinking about the lore of the city. I want y'all to know I've been investing time into coming up with the lore of the city. I don't have it all yet, but I do know that it's gonna center around defectors and people who just didn't want no parts of the Revolutionary War. But this area right here was kind of, at the time, controlled by Indian tribe, Native American. Don't want to offend nobody. It's 2024. A Native American tribe that was more based on the coastline of Canada. I can't remember the name right now, but I have been working on the lore of the city, including some of the suggestions that people in the comments have been given. So, stay tuned for that. We are going to get into that pretty soon. I just haven't got it all the way hashed out yet. What I do got hashed out is that little dock area, and y'all can see I put one on the other side. We're going to split it up. These are just pleasure ships, and of course it's like 2 degrees in Cold Harbor, so I mean they probably don't get that much use, but people with money buy boats, man. That's one thing they buy boats, they buy all type of stuff they don't really actually need all the time. On the back side of this, I wanted to use one of these old school water pump type assets, but we're gonna of course refurbish it. It used to do something like that. It used to be drippy and moist up inside their paws. Now it's apartments, it's hardwood out the yin yang, coffee makers and whatnot. Y'all have seen these buildings. Now we got some in Cold Harbor, man. Everything can't be all, broke down and hood all the time. We also can't go too fancy. So I feel like this is a kind of mid-ground. Y'all can see me throwing down some of these residential blocks. I think there's only like a family each in each one of those, so I decided to put like a few of them in there so it could be more than one family occupying this building. A little bit of parking lot detail. I like these vanilla chain links. We're gonna put them around there, and then we still gonna hit it with some of these workshop fences. Hit that with some of that vegetation. I be having to like do a lot of the vanilla vegetation just to give the ground a different texture from just those little rocks and stuff. Now I don't do it everywhere, but when I'm going in, I go in. So we're gonna hit this with some trees. Right across from that, I felt like this was a giant naked spot that we had to do something with. So, maybe this is like an overflow. They keep, dry goods out here, stuff that won't, well, I mean, I guess you could keep stuff that needs to be refrigerated because it's no degrees in Cold Harbor. So I guess you probably could keep, a few items out here. You could probably keep like, salsa, penguin meat.
I would pay $50 for a penguin meat sandwich. That's what I would pay.
So right now I'm using some of the Industrial Evolutions. Definitely still to this day one of my favorite vanilla DLC type packs, because they really took the leash off them textures. They let them guys shine with that. They didn't try to make it look too cartoony, and they made different eras. So I got these old school joints, but if you building a new school city, they got new school stuff for you, man. Little warehouses and stuff that actually looks like, wow, man, I drove past that on the highway the other day. That's crazy how realistic they get some of this stuff, but at the same time, it makes sense because the asset creators are just looking around and building the stuff that's around them. I'm always surprised when somebody points out, yo, we have that in my city. Like, I didn't know Gus's Fried Chicken was a real thing. I just seen it on Facebook the other day. Like, yo, that's a real thing. I thought that was something somebody made up for City Skylines. That's neither here nor there. We're gonna hit this with a fountain on the outside and a couple of these bollards just to make this area. I really wanted to have that refurbished, repurposed. They came in and sprinkled some money. You know, they got some flat screens on the inside, exercise room, laundry room, and we're gonna put some gates on it so people can't just crawl up in here. While we're doing that in the background, we'll get into our comment of the week, and it comes from Madman. He says, literally just stumbled across your channel and I subbed immediately a few minutes into the video. I'm looking forward to seeing more content from you. I love the music and the commentary. Was a good laugh while watching you do your thing with the detailing. I don't understand. Laugh? Like, good laugh? Are you trying to say I'm funny? Am I fun? I'm funny how?
I mean, funny like I'm a clown. I amuse you. I make you laugh. I'm here to f***ing amuse you. What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
No, I'm just messing with you, bro. I definitely get what you mean, though. Usually that's how it goes. People see my stuff and they like, oh, this is fire. I'm tapping in immediately, or they hate it. And that's cool with me. I would rather be somebody's shot of liquor than everybody cup of tea. You know what I'm talking about? So we're working on this little peninsula down here. I wanted to have some single family homes, some like narrow urban joints, but I also wanted to have like some of these duplexes, 3-story boarding house, rental house type vibes. We got a few of these in the neighborhood I live in the real world. People buy houses like this, but they bought them way back in the day, and now they just rent out the rooms. So I kind of wanted to make an area that has a little bit of that feel, but also mixed in with some of these narrow urban residential buildings. These are all in a pack by one of my favorite creators, Smiley's. Definitely, it's a page worth following, because if they drop one asset, trust me, a week or two later, you're gonna see a whole pack of stuff that you could probably get inspiration in building a whole neighborhood off of. I'm also mixing in a few of these townhomes from another asset creator that I'm not too familiar with, but I'll be watching folk, man. You make like 4 things I like, I'll be kind of checking for your page. I'm mixing in a couple of the Chicago row houses, those blocky looking joints, but the rest of these are gonna be those narrow urbans, except for that one Queen Anne I decided to put down here on the end of this little peninsula, and I'm detailing this up with jetty rocks. We haven't used the jetty rocks nowhere in the city. I don't actually know the proper use of jetty rocks, or a jetty for that matter. I think they're supposed to protect dock areas from like waves or something, but I just be using them for sauce, man. I'm gonna put like a little small parking lot back here. This is right here next to that ginormous long high school building that we built a few episodes ago. Also, I wanted to add another type of church to this area. Now, I thought about this area for a while of what I was gonna make it, and I tried a few other things, but I just felt like this was a cool place for a old style church, man. Like this church been here since the mill was actually running, and it's dead in the middle of everything now, and it's still, they kept it that kind of old school, old world charm. So you can see me kind of making my own custom parking lot. Again, I was really going in, man. The more stuff I built, I was like, man, I'm gonna have to edit all this at some point, dude. So it was really hard, but I was determined to walk away from this area feeling like it was all the way done. No little, okay, well, I can add one more thing right there. I even built a custom park at the end of the episode. It may be temporary. We may put something with a little bit more functionality down there later on, but we're not worried about that right now. We still on our church, and we're hitting it with some of the cement curb props to kind of give it more of a foundation. And I did see a couple of little naked spots where I'm like, yo, we could sneak another little house or two, just a little something. I really don't want giant empty areas. I do want green spaces, but not giant empty areas. These residential piers that are actually attached to people's houses, and you might might be 2 people that get use of them. I wanted to hit those with some of the floating boat props. And down here at the end of this little peninsula area, we're gonna make sure we hit all this with some vegetation, make it look kind of overgrown. I also been on the workshop looking for more trees, man. You'll see some different types of trees in the cinematic portion, because I did kind of find a few more that don't look horrid with the snow conditions, man. It's so limited, we can't use everything. Some of my favorites I can't even use because they just look too crazy. But we're gonna hit this with some chain length. I want each one of the houses to really feel like, you know, not like a development, not like a one company came through and built everything. Maybe they built these 3 houses and somebody else built the one next door, but that gives it this kind of unison and disarray sort of feel, if that makes any sense. Definitely feels like one solid area, but not like clone houses, cookie cutter. Right here behind the textile buildings, or the disused textile buildings, I just wanted to put a path, something to kind of bridge the area between this and that high school that's right there, so you can see me working with some foliage. And down here, this is the square I couldn't kind of figure out what to do. It's off of a main avenue. It's really prime real estate, but I felt like instead of sitting here and thinking about it or leaving it blank, let's just put like a little temporary park right here. Maybe we'll come back later on and put the pier market, or maybe it's some park assets or something. It's right across from the hockey rink. They over there playing hockey right now, busting each other up. So I just felt like maybe a chill park, put a few custom assets from the workshop in here, as well as some vanilla wafers. Man, ain't nothing wrong with the vanilla wafers every once in a while. So I downloaded a pack of like gazebo pergola type areas, and I thought this one was dope because it's got the fireplace, so you can see me hitting it with the fire prop and the smoke coming out the chimney. It just burns all the time. That's probably not good for the environment now that I'm thinking about it, but we're gonna make this basically like a little grill area. Probably not getting the most use right now in these winter months, but it looks nice, especially with the red trees and those Siberian spruces. That pretty much brings this episode to a close. I do have a few church announcements. Now, I have been tinkering around with City Skylines too. It's like 1 or 2 mods away from being ready to actually, for me to be playing and making content out of. They need to add a little bit more functionality to move it. But as far as like, am I able to kind of make something that feels unique? Yes. We do need bob. I gotta be able to bob off some of that nonsense they be having on them buildings, but it's almost ready, so maybe you'll see some content from that coming soon. I also want to say super thank you for y'all checking out the last episode, man. That one kind of did some decent numbers for my little numbers, so I appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, tell somebody to tell somebody, tell your mama them, tell your auntie them. My name is Red Kool-Aid. This is Cold Harbor. I'ma see y'all on the next one. Peace.